On the surface, One Punch Man is a fantastic show and a hilarious satire of the anime genre. Saitama, the titular character, is so overwhelmingly powerful that he's actually bored of being a superhero. There's no challenge, there's no competition, nothing to get excited about. Nobody wants to do a job that's mundane and boring. We all seek stimulation and look for challenges. Saitama is no different, even if his line of work is beating up evil villains and saving the world. For all intents and purposes, he has unlimited power, yet he's unhappy. In fact, a lot of the more powerful characters in the series tend to lack much depth or personality. Interestingly enough, it's the characters who possess limited powers who actually offer the most in the way of a compelling persona and likable characteristics. Perhaps One Punch Man is more than just a silly parody of other anime series, and it's actually making a deeper statement about heroism. Perhaps the point they're trying to get across is that you don't have to be the strongest or the fastest or the most awesome being in the universe to be a true hero. Perhaps it's time we rethink what a hero is, starting with One Punch Man. What does it actually mean to be a hero? For all the powers that he possesses, Saitama is actually a pretty crappy hero. Don't get me wrong, he can defeat just about anybody and has unmatched abilities, but he doesn't really care all that much about saving people or doing what's right. He's kind of a reluctant hero. He started doing it because he thought it looked fun, and has since become pretty unimpressed and bored with his chosen line of work. He wanted a challenge and has yet to really find one. That's, kinda selfish. He's in it for all the wrong reasons. He wants to fight someone worthy, but he isn't really so interested in preserving justice or the greater good or any of that nonsense. A bit of intel about Saitama. He's an ordinary looking guy with a bald head and a pretty standard generic build. He's average height and average weight, and nothing about him is particularly impressive. He kinda looks like a create-a-player template number 1 in any video game. He used to have short black hair, but then he lost it. How did he lose it? Oh, through training. Yep, that's right. Saitama used to be an ordinary guy until he went through a rigorous training regiment that caused him to lose his hair yet gain immeasurable power. What sort of treacherous conditions and obstacles must a person overcome to not only unlock inhuman superpowers, but lose their hair in the process of doing so? Well, it's actually pretty simple. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run. Every single day for 3 years. That's it. Oh, and no air conditioning, because that's an important component, apparently. But yeah, Saitama followed that workout plan and apparently managed to break his limiter, which exists within all of us and keeps our abilities confined to human possibility. It kind of keeps us in check. Once that puppy breaks, though, then there's no telling how wildly powerful that person can become. Case in point, Saitama, a regular dude who can knock out monstrous villains with a single blow. Saitama's powers include unlimited physical strength, which allows him to effortlessly defeat even the most powerful monsters and villains with a single nonchalant punch. He also has enhanced leaping ability, which can border on the ability to fly. At one point, he even jumps from the surface of the moon back to Earth and lands at a specific point. Furthermore, he has immeasurable speed and reflexes. During his hero tryout, he completed a 1,500-meter dash instantly. What makes it all the more hilarious is that he still can't quite squash a regular mosquito. His senses are also extraordinary. He can almost sense danger and knows when to dodge it. His senses are so heightened, he was even able to see in the dark, like when he spotted a kid far off in the distance during the night. Saitama also has invulnerability. He's capable of withstanding all sorts of punishment and doesn't seem to feel any sort of pain. He's so powerful that he's not only immune to physical attacks, but he's even immune to psychic attacks. Despite all of his overwhelming prowess, he still kinda sucks. He's got all the power in the world, but he's kinda disappointing without the right attitude. He's just so bored and indifferent about everything. He doesn't even take his work seriously. He goes through the motions, and he goes through every confrontation with the general malaise that someone working a job they can't stand might have. And it's not just Saitama either. The show is chock full of awesomely powerful characters who just don't really bring much else to the table. There's Carnage Kabuto, who's Dr. Genyu's strongest creation. There's Vaccine Man, a disaster-level dragon mysterious being with the ability to fly, fire destructive energy balls, and change forms into an even more monstrous creature. There's Marugori, I don't know if I'm saying that right, who was strong enough to destroy an entire city with the air pressure from the wave of his hand, as well as create a large crater that was 100 meters wide just by stomping. And what do all of these threats have in common? Well, for starters, they were all easily defeated by Saitama with a single punch, but more importantly, they're all kind of lacking depth. Like, they're just bad guys and that's the extent of the character, you know? It's almost like the more powerful the character is, the less interesting they become from a personality perspective. Similar to Saitama, all of these characters are simply defined by their powers. That isn't a persona though. It's like, you ever meet a really attractive person, but it doesn't take long for you to realize that there isn't much depth to them past their attractiveness, and they're sort of just attractive and that's it? It's nice, but once you get past the surface, you're kind of left wondering what you're actually dealing with. That's sort of what these ultra-powerful characters in One Punch Man are dealing with. It's like a gift and a curse at the same time. Sure, they're interesting because they can do unthinkable things, but are they really that interesting? If you really analyze it, they don't have much appeal because they're just too strong. In fact, I'd argue that the most appealing characters in the series are actually the ones with the most limited powers. For example, let's examine Mumen Rider. He's a C-class rank 1 professional hero of the Hero Association. Like Saitama, he's a young man of average height and weight. Unlike Saitama, he doesn't really possess any supernatural abilities. His greatest attributes are his bravery, loyalty, and the fact that he's an honorable hero who refuses to overlook any crime, no matter how minor or insignificant it may be. Oh, and he has a bicycle. He also refuses to back down from any fight, no matter the opponent. He's incredibly determined and he never backs down, often putting his own life at risk, which he does without question if it means protecting innocent people from evil. He's basically just down for the cause, no matter what. He's selfless and totally willing to sacrifice himself for the greater good, even in the face of imminent danger. That's something that not a lot of heroes in the show can say. For crying out loud, his most impressive attribute is a bicycle, come on! At least Lance Armstrong was doping for a superhuman advantage. Mumen Rider is literally less dangerous than Lance Armstrong. However, for all intents and purposes, Mumen Rider is actually the greatest hero in the entire series. He may not be the most powerful, but he's absolutely the most passionate and dedicated to justice. He even shows great respect to people who save him, showing that he's grateful as well. He's compassionate as well, even showing sympathy towards villains who seem to have a bit of humanity left in them. In a lot of ways, Mumen Rider is kind of the opposite of Saitama. He has none of the perceived strengths required to be a superhero, yet he has the mind and the willpower to be one. He's a hero who always gets beaten no matter how hard he tries. Conversely, Saitama has all the strength he could possibly have, but no enthusiasm whatsoever. He can beat anyone with a single punch, despite not even trying very hard, literally ever. Another powerless character, but one who's slightly less noble than Mumen Rider, is King. He too is a professional hero of the Hero Association, where the public knows him as the strongest man on Earth. However, the reality of the situation is that he's just a very lucky, normal civilian who unintentionally gained credit for Saitama's actions. When in a dangerous situation, King plays the part to perfection, appearing calm and displaying an intimidating aura to him. In reality, though, he's a massive coward. He's respected by the public and by other heroes, but that's simply because they don't know the truth. This whole Hero Association thing is extremely fascinating. For instance, Mumen Rider has been offered a promotion, but declined it because he doesn't feel like he deserves it. It's this weird, arbitrary ranking system that rates heroes based on their attributes. What it doesn't do, however, is factor in their mentality and their approach towards their work. Sure, there are varying levels of powerful attributes, but equally as important, or perhaps even more important, is the mentality in which they approach heroism. If that were the case, then Mumen Rider would be the highest ranked hero of all. They put the emphasis on the wrong thing, therefore someone like Mumen Rider is stuck as a C-class rank 1 level hero in perpetuity, and that's not really fair. So what's the lesson here? Well, Mumen Rider is the lesson. He shows us that a hero isn't just one's abilities. It may sound cheesy, but it truly is what's inside that counts. Ah. Well, what do you think? How do you feel about Saitama and Mumen Rider? Who's the true hero of One Punch Man? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Before you go, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant to stay up to date on all of our latest releases. Until next time, bye!